give this a go. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Interesting. Okay. Explore. The end of the world? What are you talking about? Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up? Killing a princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it? Can't someone else do this? Forget it, I'm not doing this. Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending? Do I get some sort of reward for doing this? Okay, thanks for telling me what to do. Sweet, I've always wanted to off a monarch. Viva la revolution. Silently continue the cabin, turn around and leave. Well, you know we gotta try.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Yep, definitely know where I'm going. Nope, the only thing that matters is where I'm not going. The cabin. I'm not going to the cabin. I'm pretty okay with the world ending relish. Okay. Quietly continue path away from the cabin.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it.
Voice of the hero and narrator is in. It's
Ignore
interesting.
that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay, so there's a little bit of meta going on.
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin.
Ah.
How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Turn around again and leave again.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
I don't care, I'm not killing a princess. Good. Okay, that's... You're not emotionally blackmailing me into this. Can quietly continue down the path.
Silence is deafening.
Yep.
But fine. You turn around and trek back down the path you came.
And we're back at the cabin.
Look at that. You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
There's no fighting this, is there? I have to go into the cabin, don't I? Fine. Oh yeah, well I guess I start walking in a different direction. Again, in fact, I'm going to just keep trekking through the wilderness until I find a way out of this place.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will.
So interesting, because they specifically said at the beginning, there's no wrong choices. Oh, let me move the content. I think I'm in a pretty good spot, but we're just going to move ourselves up a little bit so that we don't cover the text.
And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes.
You can see the cabin up here.
Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on?
So you see them all? You got cabins everywhere.
You're stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness, But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Chapter 2, The Stranger. Interesting.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I'm getting a terrible sense of deja vu. Wait, hasn't this happened already? Okay, no, you aren't kidding. She actually ended the world last time, didn't she? What the hell is she? Oh, you're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks, but I died. The whole world ended. What am I doing here? Those walls weren't here. You see the walls in the background here? You can kind of see a little bit. You can't just force me to go to the cabin. Yep, okay, heading to the cabin where I'm definitely going to slay the princess. Yeah, I get it. I'm going to the cabin. Those walls weren't here last time. You can't just force me to go to the cabin.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Okay, so the narrator doesn't know what happened, but the hero does.
I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience.
Ah, so we have another voice now. We have voice of the hero and voice of the contrarian.
He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
Okay, yeah, so we're being forced to go to the cabin. Silently proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further.
Okay.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
One option. Proceed to the cabin.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway? No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that, not when everything here is so wrong.
There's also this mirror.
My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, you've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves? Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us.
Yeah, so the narrator's fighting with the voices. That's
I'm not
interesting.
going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind.
Kind of want to give into the
Yes, take a
contrarian
deep
voice.
breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall. Approach the mirror, take the blade, enter the basement. Let's approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
So the narrator doesn't see the mirror.
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
Wipe the mirror clean. This is where we just get ripped apart by the mirror.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But there was a mirror a second ago.
Our hand is not human. Do you notice that?
And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
Let's enter the basement without the blade.
The door to the basement creaks open,
Oh my.
revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour.
But I think the screen's meant to be a literal branching path. Like you can see the branches. It even looks like a tree or tree branches at certain points.
A disquieting collage of tone and personality drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Ooh, okay, so take the harsh stairs to the left, take the center stair, takes the soft stairs. Let's go soft stairs.
You step to the right. The path feels soft and reassuring against your feet. The stairs almost seem to cradle you as you make your way down, like they're guiding your heels from one step directly to the next. You barely have to extend any effort to descend, the stairway doing most of the work for you. You don't feel like there's any concern that you might slip or tumble or lose your way. But the further you go, the deeper you sink
Looks like
in.
teeth.
First, it's like a lovely plush carpet, your toes digging down and barely hitting any resistance at all. But soon enough, you're fighting just to keep your knees from sinking out of sight. The softness threatens to swallow you whole, to wrest control of your body and surround you in a false ethereal bliss, pretending to save you from the cruelties of choice and consequence. It's slow going, but you manage to fight against the overwhelming urge to fall back into comfort and nothingness, the very struggle to continue forward consuming your every thought. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish. until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions
They're
of the
also
journey,
losing detail. Do you notice that?
continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you okay?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs.
Interesting.
Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
I'm sorry I didn't realize I was here. What's your name? Getting down here was weird, like I pulled apart and put back together again. Do you know what happened to me? For all I know, you're locked up down here for a reason. Do you know why you're down here? You're apparently a threat to the world. I was sent here to slay you. What's your name?
You can call me Princess, if you'd like. Princess.
Jesus.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time?
How's it going? It's going alright so far. We're trying out a game called Slay the Princess. It's a visual novel horror game. It has a bunch of content warnings. But, yeah, so we're giving it a shot.
Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here, and you need to do it now. Oh, new plan! Let's see if we can make even more of her.
Okay, there's more of you now. Getting down here was weird, like, okay. I'm getting you out of here. Try to free her. I don't know what you are, but I can't trust you. I can't trust anything. Leave her in the basement. Retrieve the blade. So there's a bug here. I'm trying to pick this one, but it's highlighting both of these. I'm wondering why that is.
Do you need help? Not that there's much I can do chained up like this, but I'm the only one down here. So if you need anything, I'll do my best. What's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin?
Okay, so now we're getting...
She fractures again. I don't like where this is going. Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start? We'd always start by retrieving the blade. Can we even leave this place? I don't like thinking about what might happen to us if we have to go back through those stairs. Well, that's where the blade is. If you want it, you'll have to go and get it. I don't think we're going to be able to put her back. Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her. It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
Getting down here was weird, pulled apart. For all I know, you're locked up for a reason. Yeah, I'm interesting. So if we try to free her, it's forcing us to leave her in the basement. Do you know why you're here?
I don't know why I'm here, but there has to be a reason, right? You don't just lock a princess away in a place like this without a reason. I wish I knew what it was. But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen, or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already. One way or another, just do it.
Okay, this was fun for a bit, but we can't even really interact with her, can we? What's the point of asking questions if all we're going to get is a million answers? Can't even follow what's going on anymore. We need to get out of here. This whole place is making me itch.
You know what happened to me?
I don't know what happened to you, but you look like you're in one piece now. But I understand. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. Oh, I thought they would send something better to deal with me. If the stairs manage to chew you up,
I will devour you.
Okay, so there's like a demon, a longing for death, Okay. So they seem like different
I
personalities.
don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you?
I think that's this voice.
You're not really
No,
cut
that's
out
this
for
voice.
us, are you? Why are you even here?
And that's this
We're
voice.
probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in.
Okay. Yeah, see, and this is all one, so maybe it's not a bug?
That's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to perish alone.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so we did multiple things here. All at once, you use it to strike at her. That's one. Oh, strike at her bindings, which is one. As you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone. So we did 3 different things all at the same time. So you can see this is like leaving this. I'm not sure what this one is. This is slaying, and this is freeing her from the binding. So you can see different worlds all in one
Is this
here.
what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... we can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before
Or it all.
falls apart. I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and others, they just don't fit. They just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
Going to be okay. I'll do my best. I don't think you're supposed to be fixed. No, you just destroyed everything. I'm not going to fix you. Say nothing. Let's say nothing. Okay. We just got what looks like an achievement. Is that actually an achievement, or is that a fake achievement? Hold on. Okay, that was a real achievement. The achievement was the illusion of choice. When everything is possible, nothing is. You don't know if she had a chance to hear your silence. She's gone, replaced with something else. It's the mirror.
She's
Yeah.
gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror. Why is it here? Why now?
I don't know where she went. I don't know how we'd even go looking for her. The narrator is gone. I think I'm supposed to look at the mirror. Approach the mirror.
You, don't do this.
Ignore him. You approach the mirror.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing.
The voices feel small, distant as you approach. Gaze into your reflection. Silence. As you reach forward, they're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. You got another achievement called The Body. It's you. You're alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. Proceed to the cabin. Oh, you are at the cabin. Approach her.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
So it's interesting. I didn't do this on purpose, but I think the statue that comes with the collector's edition that's open for pre-orders is based on this ending, or this amalgamation. Okay, here we go. So we have choice, quite a few choices here. What are you? The gift of a fragile vessel. Is this the end of the world? Let her out of there. Do you know the narrator? Are you what sent me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here? Do you know about the worlds beyond this place? Are you the princess? Do we know each other? What happens now? Attack the entity. Destroy your body. Interesting. The gift of a fragile vessel?
Yes. Nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond. Perspectives to make my own. These ones are a contradiction. A winding kaleidoscope of paths and wall. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. I am sorry that you met this vessel so early in your journey, but they will make for a rich and vibrant heart. Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
Let her out of there? What are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
I'm a person. Interesting. Okay, so one of the things in there was existential dread, and I think that's the route we're heading right now. Solitary lights, what do you mean?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
I'm a person.
A person. A set of eyes witnessing from one perspective. I think that you are more like me than you are like a person. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
This is the end of the world. Let her out of there. Do you know the narrator? Let's ask if they know the narrator.
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Uh-huh. Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Fair. Let her out of there.
I'm sorry.
There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me.
Uh-huh.
I promise that it doesn't hurt.
Are you saying... Are you what set me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Uh-huh. Do you know about the worlds beyond this place?
I know only that they are.
Are you the princess?
She is part of me,
Uh-huh.
and part of me is her.
Yep. But were you always a princess, or are you just making her part of yourself?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Do we know each other?
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness
The different
you.
versions of her? Okay. What happens now?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole. Perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Okay, so maybe this is like what leads to a true ending, but in order to do that, you have to do a bunch of other endings. Aren't you scared I'll find a way to kill you?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
How much will I forget?
Everything. Until we meet again.
Uh-huh. How many more pieces of you do I have to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
And what if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
I was sent to slay the princess to stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
You're being semantic. What are you going to do if I help you?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
I'm not going back. Wait.
If you need time, then I'll wait with you.
Wait forever.
You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not you, but I know that I would return before forever was finished. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage? You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine.
And then the game closed. Funny. Okay. Oh, interesting. I just reopened the game.
You have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side.
Interesting. I wonder if there's something tied to how long you wait. What is this? History. Oh, okay, so you can, okay. Skip, auto. Interesting, okay. Make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Everything goes dark and you die. Chapter 1. Bring the stranger to...
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here to sleep.
No, you can hit previously seen dialogue by hitting tab on your keyboard or R1 on your controller. Okay. Let's see if we can do like a quiet
You
run.
make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning. Before you go, she will lie.
Yep.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Proceed to the cabin. Okay. So we went back to chapter 1. If you notice that, we went back to chapter 1.
The interior of the
There's
cabin
no
is
mirror.
almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult.
Into the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Okay. That's interesting. That voice was one of the like 4 or 5 that we ran into. That was, I think that was the voice of the like, you can't do this.
Dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Continue down the stairs.
You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs.
She also has a different face, so this is a different
There's a heavy chain
personality.
around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Steel your nerves and step forward.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me?
So this is like the voice of doubt.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Slay the princess.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as
She looks
lays there
annoyed.
dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago. that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
Of course it is. She's dead. I'm not sure. I feel like she has some kind of trick up her sleeve. Of course not. That was too easy. Of course she is. She's dead.
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here.
Leave.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here.
So the narrator is not working with you.
Everyone is happy.
Okay, that's what I figured.
You'll be
but
happy.
that's bullcrap. Let me out of here. Oh, okay, I was kind of hoping I'd get a better ending for saving the world.
This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No. This is the beginning of eternity. Your reward. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
Hey, Calzone. Thank you for the lurk. I do appreciate it. How are you doing? Didn't you hear the narrator? I'm happy. We're happy. We have any idea to get us out of here? Of course we are. I like it here.
Are we really happy? Or is he just telling us that we are?
Mm-hmm. Maybe you're not happy. I'm just saying, no, we're happy. I'm sure of it.
Really? Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know, I guess. More happy time passes.
I wonder if it's going to do the same close and then reopen.
Begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning. Please, shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here. The little voices, please, fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever.
Good ending. You did it. You saved everyone.
Committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
There's no going back now is the achievement we just got. Past the point of return. Okay, maybe I'm not happy. I'm not just saying that because you're the last person I talked to.
Because I have an idea to get us out of here. Though you're probably not going to like it.
But did you hear that voice that said you committed to the thing? So it sounds like, I think since we activated that multi-princess entity thing, it's starting to keep track of the choices up to that point.
We can use the blade to get out of this.
Ah.
I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
Wouldn't using the blade, kill us? Wouldn't we be dead?
Astute. You are absolutely correct. using the blade to kill yourself would kill you, and you shouldn't do it. In a sense, we die, but looking at things from another angle, are we even really alive anymore? This place, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's just the same thing, constantly, forever. I know this is out there, but trust me, I know using the blade will work. That little voice didn't want you to slay the princess. It didn't want you to be happy.
You better be right about this. I'll be pretty upset if we die.
If we die, you can yell at me all you want. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
The Spectre.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that, you're here to slay her.
Terrible sense what happened.
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe that's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again.
Voice of the Cold. So this is a new voice. We had the voice of the Contrarian, now we have voice of the Cold.
Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place.
Let's assume I'm telling the truth and all of this really did happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine. I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Oh, we listened to you plenty. We slew the princess just like you asked us to, and then you locked us away in an empty void for eternity. So we slew ourselves too. Well, if you killed yourself, then you weren't listening to me, because I would never want you to do that. Believe it or not, I care about you.
There's the gaslighting.
And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We slew the princess, the world outside the cabin disappeared, we died, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty
Except we have the voice of the Cold now.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left? It doesn't matter, because we didn't fail to slay her. And if she's really back, which I doubt, it'll be just as easy to do it again. But after that nasty trick you pulled on us, maybe she's not the only one around here in need of slaying. Just stay focused, will you?
Let's talk about this
Just
princess.
About it.
If anything in the world ended after I slew her. When I tried to leave, everything was gone.
That's a good point. How do we know we didn't have things backwards? Maybe slaying the princess was what ended the world, not the other way round. Yes. Maybe this whole thing was a trick to get us to end the world.
I will
now
hydrate.
We get to go through the whole charade again, wholly aware of what's waiting for us at the end. But that's assuming she's alive in that cabin. We did kill her, after all. You're going to find her in the cabin. If the princess had actually been slain, you wouldn't be here. And let me assure you, killing her will not end the world. I don't know what you think happened to you last time, but it's a load of nonsense. You'll get your happy ending. I promise. Well, that's exactly what we're afraid of. Really? living happily ever after sounds that bad to you. Oh well, there's no use arguing over your masochism. The cabin awaits.
Last time I stabbed her in the heart and she died. How can someone like that in the world? Who locked her in the basement? What is this place?
People locked her in that basement. I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
People locked her away, then why couldn't they slay her? Why is it falling to me?
I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps. But it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course we're special.
You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. This is boring. He's clearly not interested in talking. So let's just do as he says. And maybe he'll stop bothering us.
Last time I stabbed her in the heart and she died. Okay, someone like that.
Can. You'll have to trust that what I'm saying is true.
That's all.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole will...
Proceed to the cabin.
A warning. She will lie.
Yep.
She won't be a problem.
His voice of the cold is like gold. It's just cold-blooded killer. It's interesting.
The interior of the cabin
Mirrors
is cold,
here.
A soft odor of dirt permeating the air.
Also, the cabin has changed. It's not a log cabin anymore.
You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an
The table's
elegant antique
changed.
table with a pristine blade perched on the edge. The blade is your implement. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
Let's not worry about the mirror. We already did the mirror. This whole cabin's different than last time.
Different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous second life proposition. You haven't died. You certainly haven't already slain the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Enter the basement. We're gonna follow the cold voice. The mirror disappeared. So I'm very curious where that leads us. Yeah, this has changed too.
Banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead.
Okay.
If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. The room below is silent.
She called up to us last
Nobody's
time.
here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain.
Uh-huh.
Okay. She's definitely dead. It's just like I told you.
This is called the
Before you have a
Spectre,
chance to finish
remember?
your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor.
Yep.
Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost! Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
I don't want to answer that question.
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you.
Oh, she's about to, like, rip our head off.
Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. That means we could kill her again, if we wanted to.
Slay the princess.
Without a moment's hesitation, you lash out with your blade.
It's not gonna work this time, though.
It's like you're slashing at air. No matter how many times you stab at her, no matter how many angles you strike from, all you manage to do is interrupt her form, the skin of your hand prickling with cold as it passes through, unable to find anything solid.
You're adorable when you're confused.
But I didn't say you could touch me.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you even here? Just making sure you finish the job, or what?
If I knew I'd have to talk to you again, I wouldn't have slain you. I died too. I'm not floating around here like you are. What happened? Why am I different? Why are you different? Stop playing the victim. You threatened me last time. Of course I attacked you. You're supposed to end the world. That's why I killed you last time too. You're dead, or at least mostly dead. What can you even do to hurt me? What do you want from me? Okay, team. I'm out of ideas. Thoughts. Sleep. Talk to yourself. Slay the princess. Heart. Okay. Fine. If I can't hurt you, then there really isn't anything for me to do here. I guess. Let's try to slay the princess harder.
You swing at the princess once more, and once more your blade cuts through nothing as she disappears.
Really?
Her voice chides from elsewhere in the room. You whirl around, finding her hovering between you and the basement stairs, looking you over with grim disappointment. She draws in close.
Also, did you notice our cursor right here is a hand with a knife?
I was willing to let bygones be bygones, killer. I was willing to ignore everything you did to me so we could get out of here, together. All I ever wanted was to leave this place. All I ever wanted was to find a way back home. Wherever home is.
Her eyes turn from wells of sorrow to pits of wrath as she stares into you.
Wrath. Never heard wrath said like that.
I guess violence is the only language you speak.
She forces her hand into your chest, and then...
Rips our heart out?
Yes? Nothing happens. Are you sure about that? Something should have happened. And yet it didn't. We're fine.
Did you miss? I'm not afraid of you. Stare at her at silence.
You can't be sure if you first hear or feel what happens next, but it is over before you can fully conceptualize what it is. A horrific splintering, the squelching of organs, the rending of tissue, an icy, numbing pain.
I'm done asking. The next time I see you, I'm taking everything I owed, starting with your body. If you don't choose to give me my freedom, I'll just have to make you give it to me.
She's real now. If she's making us dead, we should return the favor.
Slay the princess.
You swing your blade towards her briefly corporeal throat. It connects. A gash widens across her neck, glowing ectoplasm leaking from the wound. But it's too little, too late.
Heart ripper.
In her hand,
There are
her
worse
she
fates to
clutches
suffer
your still
than a
beating
broken heart.
It thumps unsettlingly. Did we get her? Even if we didn't, we've given her something to remember.
See you soon, killer.
I'm afraid you'll never know. As she crushes your precious organ in her hand, everything goes dark, and you die.
Now, does it go back to chapter 1, or do we go to chapter 3? Chapter 3, the Wraith. Okay, so we're still moving forward.
You're on a path in the
Ooh.
and here we go again. Off to slay her again. The deck's stacked, isn't it? We kill her.
Voice
we
of the
start
cheated.
Again. She kills us as a goddamn ghost. We start again. I'm starting to think we're being run in circles just for the sake of it. Come on. let's not give in to all that misery just yet. There's got to be a way out of this. There's got to be a right answer. Yeah. And what if there isn't? Aren't you listening to me? What if all of this was rigged from the start? That's ridiculous. There'd be no point in all this if it was just some kind of cosmic busy work. I think that's exactly what it is. The powers that be seeing how many ways they can screw with us. Could be it's all some kind of sick joke to them. Wouldn't that get, I don't know, boring? Okay, so you've already been here. Twice even. Great. Then let me poke a few holes in your depressing little theory. Nobody here is screwing with you, and I can't imagine any scenario where you would have started over after slaying the princess. Well, we didn't have to start over. We killed ourselves. And why, pray tell, did you do that? Because you decided to foist an infinite tedium on us. That doesn't sound like me. If I'd had everything my way, you would have effortlessly slain the princess, saved the world, and been given your happy ending. The ending was the tedium. You locked us in a cabin and sent that cabin to an endless void, and then you told us we were happy.
Yep.
Well, were you happy? Of course we weren't happy. That's why we killed ourselves. It was awful. It was boring. It was bullshit. So you killed yourself? Yes. And then she killed us. Even though she was already dead. This is all fake. Okay, let's try to get back on track. You're real. The princess is real. The world is real. The people in the world are real. And the danger she poses to all of them is also, quite unfortunately, real. Whatever you did the first time, it sounds like it almost worked. So how about you give it one last try? Because killing yourself seems to undo all the good you almost managed to accomplish. All this standing around and talking is boring. Let's at least do something. Maybe we'll kill her again. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll even free her.
And why should we help you? All you're going to do is lock us away in.
What? I won't do that. I promise. Oh yeah, sure. That changes everything. I mean, he did promise. And you believed him?
Are you the same narrator we met in the other loops? You were quick to accept that we've been here before.
If I had to make a wager, I'd say yes and no. That's a hedge, not a wager. I haven't met you, but you've clearly met me. It sounds to me like you're hopping between parallel realities, in which case the me you just met here is the same collection of experiences as the me you met at all of those other beginnings, but their continuity breaks the moment you say or do anything, in effect making them all separate.
Okay.
So, yes, I'm the same me, but ever since the moment we started talking, I'm different. I'm not sure how we're supposed to kill him ourselves, but he's asking for it. Maybe there's some way she can take care of it for us. They've clearly all been through some harrowing experiences. Don't let their baggage influence your decisions. You have the ability to see things clearly. I suggest you use it.
We've killed her, and we've been killed by her, and neither of those things have gone well for us. If we're going to fall through this loop forever, eventually we're going to let her out. We might as well do it now. What happens if we don't go to the cabin? That's the other option. Proceed to the cabin. We're going to proceed to the cabin.
Continue down the path towards the cabin. It isn't long before you're steps away from your destination. I don't think you need any words of warning. I think you know what's in there, and despite your protestations, I think the more he talks, the more I'm interested in setting her free. Whatever. You don't want to listen to me? Do it then. Let her out. See what I care. It sounds like somebody's about to crack.
Are you trying to use reverse psychology on me, or have you just given up?
There's obviously no point in trying to reason with you right now, especially with all these clowns offering up their useless advice. Honestly, it seems like the more I try and talk sense into you, the more single-minded they get about letting her out. So yes, I'm done trying to argue. Would you look at that? We won. Take it however you will.
Enter the cabin. Is the knife even here? There's no knife, it's just a mirror.
Dark, a single narrow hallway stretching far into the distance. Curtains billow out from tall windows on either side, obscuring the path forward, fluttering helplessly as opposing gusts of wind rush into the building, clashing and joining and driving everything forward. The only furniture of note is... that's strange. What's strange? Is it the mirror? The mirror? No, there isn't a mirror. What's strange is that there isn't much of anything in here at all, aside from the curtains. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? Great. Something else has been taken away from us. I suppose the only way to go is forward. So forward we will go. Blade or not, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Let's pretend there's a mirror at the end of this hallway, and that... What? The end of the hallway, and that right now we can't see behind it. What's there? What's behind it?
If you're asking what's at the end of the hallway, it's the way to the basement. The way to the basement. Don't you mean door? No, I didn't say door, because there isn't a door, it's just an opening. What are the odds she's waiting for us right behind it? If I were running a bullshit factory, it's what I'd do. Let me assure you that there's nothing there. Nothing is going to jump out at you. And certainly
There's
not the
jump scares
princess.
as one of the warnings, by the way.
Is in the basement. He can't see the mirror. The knife is gone, defying his expectations. Who the hell is calling the shots here? Nobody is calling the shots. That's how reality works.
Approach the mirror.
You slowly make your way towards the gaping maw that awaits you. Your fraying nerves buzz with trepidation, the chill wind raising your hackles as it gently pushes you forward, towards the darkness at the end of the hallway. You can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. We've always been watched. You're watching us right now. Sometimes the feeling is just stronger than others. I feel like you're trying to put us on edge. We don't need all this anticipation, we just need this to be over. You stop as you reach the end of the hallway, I presume in front of whatever mirror isn't actually there.
Wipe the mirror
Here we go.
clean.
You reach your arm forward into the pitch black of the opening. Nothing. It's like this place read our mind just to mess with us.
What you looking at, killer? Staring into the void? Thinking about what it'd be like to die again? I know exactly how you feel.
Shit, where is she?
Behind you.
You feel something long and frigid coil around
Yep.
your ankle. Your heart skips a beat, standing in muted shock for one long, frozen moment. And then it, she, the princess, constricts. Your bones snap.
Ouch.
Icy pain radiates up from the break, a deep cold flooding your veins as your legs, numb with the shock of it, collapse, and you collapse with them. You're met with the terrifying visage of the princess. Her hand grips your leg in a steel vice, her grin carved jagged from ear to ear, crowded with far too many long and crooked teeth.
But do you know how I feel? I gave you a path to forgiveness. I gave you a chance to make things right. I thought maybe you'd seen what you've done and feel remorseful. Maybe try to make it up to me. But no, you'd rather use that knife to keep making the same mistake over and over and over. Even after I ripped your heart out, you still cut me. And for what? I didn't go anywhere. You didn't banish me. I'm right back here with you. A little better, a little worse. Well, maybe a lot worse. So, here's how this is going to go. I'm going to take your body, and I'm going to walk it out of here. And you get to watch me do it. Completely helpless. Just like you left me.
I say we let her do it. It's something different. Do we even have a choice? You always have a choice. Maybe before, but not now. There isn't a blade this time. Exactly. What choice is there if there isn't a blade? Well, unless you have any specific ideas, I think my vote's the only one that counts.
Look, we're even now. I killed you, then you killed me. Water under the bridge, right? I never wanted to hurt you. I don't even know how I got here. I'm a victim in all of this too, you know. Wouldn't possessing me against my will make you no better than me? You don't have to be evil. You don't have to do this. You need to take my body? Can't I just open the door for you? That's fine. I actually came here to free you. Struggle. We're gonna struggle.
You violently struggle against the princess, but all you manage to do is grind the fragments of your splintered ankle together. You can't shake free from her now.
It's so easy to make you squirm. But I won't be crueler than I have to be. I don't even want to cause any more damage. It'll be hard enough for me to walk out of here on that broken ankle.
You remain pinned to the floor of the long hallway as the rest of the princess's body emerges. Her proportions all
The knife should be still in her chest in theory, then.
moving in ways that defy your understanding. Her torso stretches until her face is practically touching yours, her neck cracking audibly as she twists to look at you from a fresh angle. You sure you can't do anything to help us? Can't you, like, manifest a rock right on top of her head? And crush you along with her? Not that I even can manifest a rock. Besides, I thought you all wanted to free the princess. Not like this. You don't even have a weapon, so I'm afraid you're out of luck, which unfortunately means that I, and the rest of the world, are out of luck too. And whose fault is it there isn't a weapon here? Yours, I assume. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Whatever you did in those previous lives of yours, you really messed up. Are you seriously trying to blame this on us? Your vision fades as she tears open the membrane of your soul. You're awake. Eyes once again fixed on the long hallway, your vision swimming as the princess's command reverberates inside your skull. Her voice is all-encompassing. You feel wrong. It's so cramped in here. Like there's some sort of growth trying to push us all out. I know. You rise to your feet, though the pain in your ankle is blinding. Your body slumps against the wall, desperately leaning into it for support. There's another option, you know. Don't help either of them. Flip the table.
And how do you do that? You don't have a will to wield. You're solid in brain of courage.
That gap where the mirror was, I don't think it goes anywhere. Let's throw ourselves into the abyss.
You wouldn't dare. Move now.
Your body, still slumped against the wall, trapped between the princess's overwhelming will and the blinding pain of your splintered ankle, takes an excruciating step towards the cabin door. The movement is stiff, your body reduced to a marionette, pulled reluctantly along by your strings.
It's not that bad. The pain feels good. Because I know you feel it too.
Throw your body into the abyss.
In a single moment of overwhelming willpower, you tear your body from the wall and hurl it towards the gaping abyss.
I won't let you do this.
Capillaries burst and muscle fibers tear as you and the princess struggle over the reins of your body. One foot planted firmly on the edge where the floor ends, and the nothing begins. It's unquestionable that her reserves are greater than yours, but fortunately for you, the distance you have to cover is far shorter. Enough is enough. I'm tired of us always losing. It's just a step away.
Even if you throw yourself into the abyss, you still lose.
You throw everything you have against her and manage, for one brief moment, to overpower the princess's hold on your body. But that moment was all you needed. Your foot slips a few inches, and you collapse forward, the darkness swallowing you whole.
So we just got an achievement, and I wanted to mention this one. This one's called The Exorcist 3. When taken against your will, deal with your enemy the only way you can. So if you've never seen The Exorcist, I want to talk about this real quick before we figure out what actually happens. If you haven't seen The Exorcist, the way that the first Exorcist movie ends, which, spoiler from a movie from, I don't know, the 60s or whatever, 60s or 70s, basically they can't get rid of the demon, so the priest takes the demon into himself and then throws himself out the window and down a flight of stairs. So, and it's believed that in that ending, the priest dies. Well, they did 2 sequels to The Exorcist. The second one is not very good, but the third one is excellent. And for one distinct reason. The priest survives, but he also has demons in him. So he's locked up, and it's basically kind of like a murder mystery with like demonic stuff, where this detective has to figure out who's killing these people, but the person that's signature it is the Gemini killer, who is long dead. It also they do a really cool scene where the priest will be talking to the detective. He'll like lean back into some pure darkness, and when he leans forward, it's actually a different actor, and that other actor is actually Brad Dourif, which is the voice of Chucky, if you don't know. So it's actually a very good movie. I really enjoy Exorcist 3, so just see that referenced here is a nice surprise.
A thought slips through you, unheeded, as you fall, and fall, and fall. What an end. But at least it's ours. An empire of frigid nothing. I don't think this qualifies as saving the world, but at least you didn't ruin it. What happens now?
You fall forever.
But I want to know what he thinks happens now. Oh, and why is that?
You and you and you and me. So this is the voice of the hero, the voice of the cold, the voice of the cheated, and then finally the voice of the princess.
He's gone. But
Terminal velocity ceases, and you feel a something, a mass growth torn out of you. You and the princess look at each other for a short moment.
What's happening to me?
Yep. So I'm guessing that's one of the vessels that we need to bring. But you don't answer her before she's gone. You feel resistance underneath your feet once more. Memory returns.
where does she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Of course you're scared. This is the end for you, but not the end for me. Okay, so this is the player talking to the hero. It's going to be okay. Just trust me. We've been here before. You always get scared.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. It's going to do something to us. I can feel it. You don't need to comfort them.
It's not the end. Whatever's on the other side is going to be nice. It's the end for you, but not for me. I'll see you on the other side. It's going to be okay.
If you say so, we'll trust you. So, this is all going to work out. Whatever makes you happy.
Approach the mirror. You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. Oh, interesting. We got a new achievement. Send to the body. This is called the bloat. It says, you've grown. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before.
Uh-huh.
Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Are you the same being as you were before? How much have you
As a
changed?
child, the same as an infant. I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
Hey, Gimpy, how you doing today? Everything you say feels like a Riddle, can you give me a single straight answer?
I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions.
Fair.
The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
What does it feel like to change like this?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
You're like the lady of many hands. Yeah, so we actually ran into... The first time we ran into this, it was actually not just many hands, but it was many ladies, all like amassed together. And she asked us to come back and bring her a vessel. So this is the vessel of us. The reason why she has an X on her chest is because this is the vessel of the princess that we've killed. And she tried to possess us, and then we threw ourselves into the abyss. So when this is all done, do you know what you want to do?
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself.
You know that at the end of this, once you're finished, I'm going to kill you, right?
There is still much to be seen. Neither of us know the depths of our being. Perhaps at the end of this, I will be the one to kill you. Or perhaps we will leave this place together and find new horizons to discover.
When I go back, it's as if an invisible wall closes around me. Why can I not do the same things I've done before?
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
You have been kinder to me than anyone else I've met. Thank you. You have been kinder to me than anyone else I've met. Why? Interesting. So these... Say thank you.
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
What do you want me to bring next time?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. Do not worry. There are no wrong answers. And every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
Do you have any thoughts on this vessel?
This one is loneliness turned to seething. She could not find her strength in others, so she found it in herself. She will make for a driven heart. Do not mourn her. She isn't alone anymore.
Okay. So you don't have any preferences on how you'd like to change or grow?
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
I don't want to hurt you, but the more times I go back, the worse I fear things will be.
There is a hurt that dwells in them, but they are not me. They are thoughts and perspectives. They are feelings that inform my being. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I cannot be as I was before. There are new spaces that I must fill.
How many more vessels do I need to bring you?
If I am to be an ocean, you have given me enough to build a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. I will transcend in due time, and there is no way forward but to contribute to my awakening.
Interesting. Destroy your body. Attack the entity. Thought we tried destroy your body before. I'm curious, what happens if we attack? Your will cuts across the entity in front of you, but nothing happens.
My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. We cannot harm each other as we
okay.
are now.
Destroy your body. You raise your will to end your life, but it buries in the space your body should be, and you feel nothing at all. One of the many hands in front of you reaches forward and gently touches the side of your face.
There's nowhere for you to be but here.
Okay. I'm ready to go back.
I await your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Everything goes dark, and you die. So now we will go back to chapter 1. The seething vessel. Bring the wraith to her.
You're on a path in the woods, and I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
But how can a princess locked to a basement in the world?
Linger on the specifics. You have a job.
Okay. Do you have any evidence to back this up?
You're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of...
Because
While
she's
I
locked up.
appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course...
Killing a princess seems kind of bad, doesn't it?
Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Rude. Can't someone else do this?
If only that. I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far. But unfortunately for the both of us, like I said, I don't make...
Because we're special. Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending?
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
Look, I'll go to the cabinet and I'll talk to her. If she's bad as you say, maybe I'll slay her, but I'm not committing to anything till I've had a chance to face to face.
I guess we'll just have to see what happens, but a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
Okay.
You make your way up the short path to the...
Proceed into the cabin. Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table.
I'm hitting tab, by the way, to skip the stuff that we've already heard. That was what they told us to do.
The door to the basement creaks.
Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful.
Okay.
Is she really a threat to the world?
No way. Why would you think that?
That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
I have my reasons. Do you think I'd just come here to kill someone without even knowing why? That'd be ridiculous. You know why I'm here to kill you? You're supposed to end the world. I've been told things I'm not sure what to believe. You're supposed to end the world.
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Deflect. What are you going to do if I let you out of here? I've been told enough. I'm hoping you tell me. No, but I'm sure they have their reasons for keeping the information secret. No, and if I'm being honest, I'm more inclined to trust you than I'm inclined to trust them.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
Slay the princess. Actually, I've changed my mind. I don't trust you. Examine the chains. I'll see what I can do.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Mm-hmm. And if there isn't a key, do you have any ideas? I'm gonna check upstairs. Maybe the key's still lying around somewhere up there. If not, maybe I can at least find something to break you free. So we're gonna leave her alone with the knife down here, which is interesting.
I'll be here.
Something tells me she's gonna go right through that wrist, and that's gonna free her.
You make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Interesting.
Is someone else here?
Hey, let me out of here.
Shots and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Try the door.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Turn to the bottom of the stairs.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess.
Against your
Oh,
better
we're
judgment,
gonna cut.
You place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain.
You wouldn't even have to do that. Technically, you could just go through the thumb, and then she could just slide her hand out. You don't have to take her whole hand off, but...
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work.
Goopy.
Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
So the narrator's taking over.
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Slay the princess, slay the princess. Warn her is right in the middle.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect.
Okay. One of the content warnings was loss of control, so that's what we're going through right now.
Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Slay the princess, slay the presence. Resist.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She's just gonna snap our neck or something.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark.
But do we move on to chapter 2 or do we stay in chapter
I hope
1?
it was worth it.
That's the interesting thing. Ah, see? Chapter 2.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a prince. You're here to slay her. If you...
I'm getting a sense of deja vu.
Terrible sense of deja vu? No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying.
Voice of the skeptic.
I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation.
This is more than deja vu, though. I'm pretty sure this whole thing really just happened.
We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer.
Let's assume I'm telling the truth and all of this really did happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing
Those
anything?
are two very different.
Okay.
Let's say for a moment that this really is. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died. The absolute irony. You really don't remember what happened. Doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do. Which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did
this is different.
practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all. Sure you are. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started.
But this is
Sounds
different.
pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs
Yeah,
if
we've
it's
heard that
the
line
latter,
before.
What do you think? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are.
Interesting. So, He mentioned the three of you and the four of us. So, but we only have two other voices in our head, right? We have the voice of the hero and the voice of the skeptic. So it's counting the player as their own separate entity, which is interesting.
You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
Let's talk about this
Just
princess.
be quick about it.
The reason she was even able to kill us last time is because I let her. All she did was slit my throat. How is she supposed to end the
She
world?
just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. You haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right? What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything.
Yeah.
Fine.
Ooh. Check your
Put
pockets.
your hands in your pockets and pull out an envelope with the words, "The Evidence," written across the front. Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth." That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules... You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to?
Yep.
Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get.
Who locked in the basement? What is this place?
People locked her in that.
Okay, we heard that.
Look. Oh.
That's when he tells us we're special.
I've told you everything you need. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better.
Okay.
Great. Now, if you...
Proceed to the cabin.
A warning. She will lie. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud?
Yep.
No, I didn't.
Wink.
Just ignore this clown and focus.
Proceed into the cabin. Is the mirror here? Yeah.
Interior
Oh,
of
and
the
this
cabin
also
is less
changed.
a cozy woodland retreat, and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement.
The whole cabin's different than last time.
Very different. Yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin.
That's the answer right there, because we've already seen that all the cabins are in different paths.
Isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before.
Okay, we've heard that line
So
before.
focus up.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. A good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
Into the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
I wonder if she only has one
Does she
hand.
remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you.
So she was only
The
chased
heavy
by one
collar
chain
around her
before.
neck
Now she has
clanking loudly
3.
as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap.
Okay. This also has, like, different body horror stuff. I think we're probably about to head into that. So if body horror makes you squeamish, you might want to tune away.
So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. That was there last time too, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
I'm not sure I need to do much of anything. Do you see how locked up she is? I'm just going to leave her here, leave her in the basement. No, I'm going to sit with her.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
Uh-huh.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
Sit where she told you to sit.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
My intentions? What do you mean?
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, so I'm afraid my only way out is surgical removal.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck? Or does she think she'd survive a beheading? You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her. Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests.
Been here before, am I the only one that remembers that?
Oh? Are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency. A contingency for what? For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse, Now hold on, if you knew this could happen, why didn't you believe us back in the woods? Why lay out all those hypotheticals? We didn't have to talk in circles. I needed you to believe this was your first time here, even if that wasn't the truth. I hoped if I pushed back hard enough I could cram this seeping mess back into the bottle. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it. Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark? The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that. I won't. Fine, but you won't get another word from me on the matter. Yeah, sure. We'll see about that. Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
What happened after I died last time?
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them. And now you're back.
Is that really all she knows? It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
How am I supposed to cut you out if you didn't notice your head is in a shackle too?
No. Like I trust you to come any closer with that knife. All you're going to do is hand it to me and watch me work.
But she would have to cut her head off, right? She can't be suggesting that.
She certainly seems confident. Maybe she knows something we don't.
Or maybe you should consider the most likely scenario. She's bluffing so she can disarm you.
Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us.
So, what should we do?
I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons.
Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you. That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none.
The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. And whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
The other chain on the wall, who's it for?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Oh, I'm actually tempted here. Hold on. I'm gonna save. Because I'm actually tempted to see what happens.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
And why is that?
Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it?
I don't know. Maybe it will.
He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
But what if he's telling the truth?
He isn't.
I am.
Inspect the shackle.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad.
Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time.
Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement. Excuse me? Yes? Are we stuck here now?
Prison of the Mind.
Yes.
Become your own jailer is the achievement we just got.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch.
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
So we're both stuck here.
Yep.
What should we do?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
Did you know that this was going to happen to me?
No.
Not one for small talk, are you?
Nope.
That's rude.
Wait in
You and the
silence.
princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything. This is so boring.
There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing.
But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent. At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
How exactly does that work?
It just does.
but
Your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
if time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there, but then they get larger and larger.
Hey, have you noticed the basement changing?
I don't like small talk, remember?
Still rude.
Continue waiting in silence.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, and watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, until suddenly, there are no walls. And then...
I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
Yep. I figured, I was like, I think that's going to lead us to something. Because that's the prisoner. Do not get a chance to spawn, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory remains.
Where does she go? Is that a...
Of course you're scared this is the end for you, but not the end for me.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt...
No, that can't be right.
Approach the mirror. I wonder what we're going to see now. Gaze into the reflection. It's probably the prisoner. Oh, the decay. You've withered. Very cool. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction. A mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
You can't be a contradiction. Contradictions don't exist. Wait, what?
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
Uh-huh. How can you stand to be a contradiction?
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit. Even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul.
It doesn't matter how many times I go back, at least one of us always hurts the other. Doesn't that change you? Doesn't that make you worse?
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
If anything, it makes me like you more. I don't know what that says about me. No, not really. It all seems distant as soon as I'm near you. I have no opinion one way or the other on the matter. I just want it all to stop. Yes, you're torturing me and I hate it. I think I hate. No?
It says that your heart is gentle, that even in the darkness you are guided by compassion.
What do you think of this vessel?
This one is cold, and cynical. She has protected herself when others could not. She will make for a clever heart. Do not mourn her. She doesn't need to be protected any longer.
I'm still planning to kill you once right now. We already did that. Do you know what happens to the worlds we leave behind?
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done.
We figured out what you'll want when we've finished?
The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves, but none of them rise above their dance to influence me. I yearn for what I have always yearned for, my awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of self-knowledge.
Do you still not care what I bring you next?
I care about her gifts, but I have no preferences. You have your responsibilities, and I have mine.
Okay, we already asked that.
We will know when we near our destination.
Okay. I'm ready to go back.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Yep, everything goes dark and we die. Alright, so now we're going back. The hero and the princess. Bring the prisoner to her.
You're on a path in...
Okay. We've asked all of that.
That's the spirit.
Viva la revolution.
You make your way up the shore.
Okay, proceed. Grab the knife. Enter the basement. Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
Drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your tray.
Yeah, pretty awkward. You're supposed to end the world. No, if I'm being honest, I'm more inclined to trust you than I'm inclined to trust them.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart.
Examine the chains.
She speaks with all... If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out.
Okay.
And if you attempt to make someone else here...
Turn to the bottom of the stairs.
Make your way back. Easier for everyone.
Save the princess.
Against your...
Okay, approach the locked
No,
door.
we won't.
And now we have to warn her. Oh, we can't resist this time. So I guess the prisoner is the only path there.
Thank you. You swing your arm towards her throat, the blade singing, but she's ready for it. She grabs your arm, help you drop the blade. Pathetically, she lets go, and faster than you can react, rears back and hits you with a bone-shattering. There's a ringing in your ears. You're fairly certain you can feel bone grinding against bone where she fractured your jaw, but your body isn't allowing you to feel much right now, adrenaline coursing through your system and numbing your nerves. You fall to your knees. You're barely able to bring your trembling arms up to defend yourself before she hits you again. Every blow is as punishing as the first. You feel bones shatter with every impact, unknown ruptures blossoming with blood somewhere inside of you.
You poor thing. I'll go ahead and put you out of your misery.
She places a confident heel on your chest and pushes you down to her knee falls to your throat, your windpipe crushed beneath a weight you didn't think her slight form could. It can't just end like this, right? I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark.
Okay, do we get to chapter 2 here? We do. The tower. Okay, so we got a difference here.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is that you're here to slay.
Yep. Deja vu, hasn't this happened already? Okay, no.
Don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's better. You know I can hear you, right? Or does it matter what?
Here we go.
There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again. She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be.
Okay, we already did that. So proceed to the cabin. This is called the Tower.
She will lie.
Yep.
Might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and... So please, try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on...
Okay, proceed into the cabin.
I guess I don't have a say here.
Well, we don't have a choice there, friend, so... Now, this is called the Tower, so I'm interested to see what's going to change here.
The interior of the cabin is larger.
Knife is all the way up there.
Than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult.
Yep. Okay. Into the basement. Because we'll run into the mirror again. It's probably going to be...
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. This is actually kind of nice. It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying... Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her.
Is she like 10 feet tall now?
Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago, you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
Continue down the stairs.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
Drop it.
The blade slips from your fingers. We didn't have to do that. And yet you did. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel.
Kneel.
On her command, you fall to the floor, knees painfully connecting with hard stone.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? And you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it? He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her? Okay, first things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done.
Okay.
The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
What would you have me do? What do you have planned?
All you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
How do we break the chains? You're so powerful, can't you just break the
Don't
chains
be
yourself?
rude. Of course she can. It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world. That's exactly why it's rude. We should know our place.
I can, easily. But that isn't what I want to do. The story of a terrible and bountiful god unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am, or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was. The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity. The song of you, being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must deliver me into the world. And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn. Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle against me, my will triumphs over yours.
Because you're supposed to end the world doesn't mean you actually have to do it. You can be whatever you want to be. I have questions before I decide to do anything. What happened to you after I died? I'm not gonna help you end the world. I don't care if something new comes after. I just can't let you do that. Okay, let's do this.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
Just because you're supposed to end the world doesn't mean you actually have to. You can be whatever you want to be.
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart.
Alright. Pledge yourself to her.
Your will was so easily broken. Am I that magnificent? All you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No, you can't just give in to her. Not when the stakes are so high. Not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong. Trying to conceal you from me. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about? I'm just...
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
So this is the first time she's actually directly interacted with the narrator.
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
But you can hear her voice behind the narrator's voice. That's cool.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? All we have is a blade. All you need to do is believe it's been done.
I have to. It's over. I'm sorry. Break her chains.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
Interesting. So whenever he said she or her, she said I. So her voice was slightly different than the narrator's voice.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave.
Take her hand. Pledge your loyalty to your better. Yep. And then she gets taken. I figured that's where that was leading, because you could see... So if you see these strands, they slowly creep around the edge when the entity, whatever the final, like, multi-entity is, comes to take a version of her.
She's gone. Where did she go? Is that a...
Okay. Approach the mirror. We don't have to... We've tried talking to him multiple times. I wonder... Are we small? Like, what do we see the mirror here?
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. I don't want to look at us.
Oh, maybe we're broken. Gaze into your reflection. As you reach forward, they're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but yeah. The remains. You've unraveled. Find yourself along quiet again. Proceed to the cabin. She's gonna be like absolutely, absolutely enormous.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
Is that a rhetorical question? Do you know? Do you want to tell me?
Rhetorical. I am not rhetorical. I have only known these spaces. And I have known flickers of the lives you've brought me, short and violent and full of passion. But all of those flickers end where the long quiet begins. I'm asking you because I cannot know your mind. Do you know what we'll find out there?
There's trees and stars, and there are people, I think. At least there are supposed to be people.
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last.
Do you think that anything is real out there? Do you think that we're real?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
Do you have any thoughts on this vessel?
This one is dominance, a figure capable of bending everything to her will. She will make for a terrifying and divine heart. Do not mourn her, for she would not be able to mourn you.
Do you know what's going to happen when you awaken?
No. The point of awakening is to find out.
Fair enough. When you send me back, I'm not alone. There are voices that speak to me. Some of them are me, but one of them is something else. I call him the narrator, and he wants me to kill you. Do you have a narrator? Have the vessels had one?
No. Their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
He does. I don't know why, but I think I know this for a fact. He does. I don't know what I'm going to do when I find him. He does, and when I find him, you and I are finally going to have answers.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
Uh-huh. How many of our vessels do I need to bring you?
One.
Ah!
Whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude.
If this is the last time, is there anything you would like me to bring you?
These gifts are a conversation. Each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn.
If this is the last stage before your completion, then I'm not going back. I'm going to stay here.
You've already tried waiting, but I understand if you need more time.
If we wait, it just closes the game. There is no waiting forever. I'm ready to go back.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Everything goes dark and you die. Okay, so we only need to do one more. Interesting. Bring the tower to her.
You're on a path in the woods.
Okay. Okay, thanks for telling me what to do.
It's all part of the job.
Okay.
You make your way up the shore. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a...
Okay, proceed to the cabin. We're gonna try not taking the blade the first time and just going to the basement.
Her voice softly.
Hello? Is someone there?
This voice is different. It's not that, like, confident voice of, like...
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Just checking in on you.
It's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
Yeah, see, she's got a different face now.
And lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to... She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Let's talk a bit first.
Okay.
What's your name?
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
I don't know anything about you. For all I know, you're locked up here for a reason. If I'm the first person you've seen in a while, what have you been eating or drinking?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant. Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
So is Princess your name?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like. I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully, you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
I'm going to keep you locked away down here, at least for a little bit. We can get to know each other while I decide what to do. I'm sorry, but I just can't trust you. This doesn't add up, and it isn't worth the risk to take you retrieve the blade without saying a word. I can't believe they've been keeping you down here like this. I'm getting you out of here.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall, large and heavy.
Yep.
Far too...
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the...
If there isn't a key, do you have any other ideas?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we attempted to make your way out. Is someone else here?
Hey, let me out of here.
You try the door.
Okay, so we can't even get to the blade.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
Okay.
Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
Uh-huh.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do.
Interesting. Let's go with save again.
Fine. Against your bet, you cut. The blade is her limb.
Okay.
She didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything?
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Approach the locked door.
We won't have any of that.
Okay.
As the princess approaches the... Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do... Watch me.
Wait.
What are you doing?
Warn her.
Stop that.
Some...
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her. But the princess dodges,
here we go.
back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest,
Which is new.
tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone.
Alright.
Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not. Though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before...
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this. Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened.
Okay.
Everything goes dark.
We've heard that.
And you die.
The damsel. Okay, so this is interesting. This could be the last one. I think there's probably more than what you need.
You're here to slay her.
I'm thinking there's probably more endings than the ones you need to interact with that last part. So I'm wondering if you have to just maybe there's like 10 endings and you have to get like 4 of them, so you can get like two whole different 4s and then like an extra. I'm very curious on how this works, or if there's only just the endings we're getting, because it does lock you out of endings as we saw earlier. So let's go to the cabin.
A warning. She will lie.
If only you knew what you did to us, you villain.
Excuse me?
The smitten.
Forget he said anything. But he is a villain. He made our beloved brutally take our life last time. He's trying to keep us apart, but he won't be able to withstand the power of our love. Last time? What are you talking about? I think he just likes to hear the sound of his own voice. Let's try. I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed. Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them.
Fair.
Things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind.
Proceed into the cabin. I'm very curious what this one looks like.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant. Its stone walls.
So it doesn't look like a
fine
prison.
threaded tapestries.
It looks more like a
Prison
castle.
fitting a royal prison.
Yeah.
The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden. The blade is your
Into the basement. We're not gonna go unarmed again.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell.
Oh, these were torches in the prison, but
Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls.
But now these are like
The basement
sconces.
almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight, but it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I think we're in love. Okay, I'm with you that we should be doing whatever we can to save her, but saying we're in love is a bit much, don't you think? We don't even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall. My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment. You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit. Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
Fair.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. You've been here before, haven't you?
That's right, villain. And you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters, we damned a whole world. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever. Especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible.
Horrible for you, maybe. But we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is.
Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure?
We never saw a world end. And now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been. I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise.
Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just do your job.
You killed me last time and it hurt a lot. Why did you do that? I didn't bring the knife. Do I have to cut you out again? I have to ask that you end the world after being killed. I'm sorry what happened. Narrator who sent me here to kill you took over my body. It was extremely unfair. Rescue the princess.
Rescue her? What are you talking about? Did you forget that she's a world-ending monstrosity? And even if you wanted to unleash her onto the world, despite the complete moral disaster that would be, you'd have to get her out of those chains.
Good luck with that.
We don't see the chain connected, though. See, it goes here, then stops.
Don't you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her out with ease. No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already?
Because she was waiting for us.
Because we've yet to present her with her freedom. I'm not sure I follow. Would you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature? Or would you rather believe the devil on your shoulder who tells you what you can and cannot do?
Fair.
I think I'd rather believe in facts. So you're one of those empiricists. One of us has to be. Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator, we courageously step forward and free our beloved from her bindings. No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, I would if you had a weapon.
Oh.
Not on my watch, villain.
We skipped a line there, unfortunately.
My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try...
Hold on, I want to see. No, I can't let you do it. Take another step. You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try to kill her? Oh, okay, so that's what we missed. Okay, so we were referencing what happened before. If you try anything to harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
Wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it. But I guess I have to. I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
This is where she crushes us to death.
What do we do now?
What do you want to do?
Guess. End the world? Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection.
This is where her face changes.
And then she shrugs.
I don't know.
Oh.
What do you want to do?
Oh, God. Not this cycle. I just want to leave. We can figure it out the rest later. If you want to leave, let's leave.
That sounds perfect.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers. We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs, hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this. And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks. That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair! We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for
Oh, God. Is he going to open the door with the power of love? Is that where we're at now?
Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known. Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
I think we can open it if we try together.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door together. Blech. And the lock clicks and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me? I told you our love was insurmountable. You and the princess make your way upstairs and...
She grabs a knife and
That's
murders
right, there's
us.
still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and slay her before it's too late.
You're not doing that.
You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. I hate you.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
But we know that the cabin, you can never leave the cabin.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin,
Abyss.
and then
No.
you step outside.
Really?
A happy ending at last.
We did it.
There it is.
What should
See,
we do
see
now?
these things on the side? These like hair tendrils? That's to show you that the entity is here.
Where did everything go? Where did he go? Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into art.
Oh, we got an achievement too, by the way. That achievement was Romantic Haze. Your love will set you free.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
Snatched. You don't get a chance to make that jacket, nor will you ever. It's time for you to leave. Memory
gone.
returns.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a...
Okay. Approach the mirror. I'm very curious what this was going to be. Is it going to be the smitten?
This doesn't... Yes. I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if...
Okay. Gaze into your reflection. What do we see here? You are nothing at all. But that isn't right. You can't be nothing. You refocus your gaze and you see it. A figure, faint and veiled in shadow, just beyond the reflection. Are you
I
me?
think you know what I am.
Uh-huh. A crack slides down the center of the mirror, splitting the image of the glass in two. And then another crack forms and another, turning the mirror into jagged shards of broken glass. So you're the narrator. I was wondering if I'd ever get to see you.
The narrator. Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help, after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
If you're not me, then what are you?
I'm an echo. Likely one of many. Somebody made you, after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
Others like you. You said something like this before. Has every narrator really been different?
Of course. That is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once.
Uh-huh.
Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world.
Uh-huh.
But you'll be awake soon. And then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
Do you have anything to say for yourself for all this hubris? After everything you've done to us, do you think anyone deserves to live? I have so many questions for you. Does it hurt when pieces of you break off like that? I'm sorry, I don't want to destroy you. Will it help to look away or stop asking questions? Every time I ask you something, it's like a piece of you breaks.
I'm aware. And if I were you, I'd be more precious about your time.
Okay. Oh, we've got a lot of questions. Okay. What is the princess did you make her
She
to?
is the shifting mound, the
Ah.
ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. This isn't the end just yet. You can still destroy her and save everyone. You were made to do this single task, and you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone.
Okay, there was another question I wanted to ask down here. What is my true identity?
The long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
Ah! So we are the long quiet. Why would you want to rid the world of
If you
death?
need to ask that question, there's nothing I can say to move you. You haven't died. You cannot die. So you cannot grasp the abject horror of dying.
If I destroy her, won't I be alone? Let's see. Do you know that things won't just be worse if I destroy her?
Of course they won't be worse. I saw a glimpse of a better world, and I did what I could to make it real. Anything is better than oblivion. In the end, nobody wants to leave.
Okay. What would it be like to live in a world without her?
Light, burdenless, an eternal pattern of forgetfulness leading into the joys of rediscovery. Everyone will be with the ones they love. No more fear, no more howling chaos. Just life, forever. There's a cruel irony to it all. The only way I could share my dream with the world was to never be able to see it for myself.
Does anyone else know about this? Does anyone else know us? I don't want to be a god. I want to be me. A god. I always knew I was special. I have so many questions for you. Let's see. Why couldn't you have told me from the start?
If you actually knew what she was from the start, if you knew her capabilities, a single intrusive thought could have instantly ended the entire world.
Oh. Alright. We've run out of questions. I think you're out of time. I'm not going to slay her. I want you to know that before you die for good. Rest easy, I'm going to destroy her. Rest easy, I'm going to destroy her. That's a lie. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I still have to see what she thinks about all this.
I've said my piece, and my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away. You know what you have to do.
Interesting. Final fragment of glass shatters. You see yourself in newfound clarity. The narrator was right. The Long Quiet. All of this is you. You are the Long Quiet, a vast and nascent god, and it's finally time for you to wake up. All of this is you. Proceed to the cabin one last time. When you arrive at the heart of things, there is no final vessel for you to bear witness to. There's nothing for you to find. Interesting. Ah, and this is the statue that they're selling with the collector's edition.
And you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
I am the Long Quiet, but I don't really know what that means.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the Shifting Mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
Do you know about the Echo? Did you hear our conversation?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
What happens now?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it?
I will hydrate. Yes.
When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
There's so many stories we've left unfinished. Can we really just leave? Don't you have a say in all this? Why is this falling on me? Let's talk this. Okay, wait. There's so many stories we've left unfinished. Can we really just leave?
Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end. Pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us.
Don't you have a say in all this? Why is this falling on me?
Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
Talk this through. I still have so many questions I need answers before I can make a choice.
My very nature is paradox, as is yours. You cannot use words to grasp at things that are beyond their reach, and you cannot rationalize that which defies logic. But violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
Your lever drives a stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go? But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me, and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever. Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
Explore, address this vessel, appeal to your shared humanity. You speak about life and death and change and stagnation. But this isn't what any of this is about.
Oh, is it not? Perhaps you can enlighten me.
You are nothing. A black hole of self-loathing fed by the matter of your restless thoughts. A dog blind to its leash. But there is no light without the dark. When I proclaimed my godhood and offered you a place at my side, you gladly became the instrument of my new creation. Only with both of us is there a future to look towards. It is hope that calls me into being.
Continue to appear to this shared humanity. This has always just been about us, two people forced to hurt each other again and again, but we don't have to hurt each other anymore.
Influence your emotion of pain and suffering. There is beauty in ugliness, and love in conflict. To question everything is to deny the truth in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real. By believing in your limitations, you placed a shackle on your neck. Bound for eternity, we saw the need for impermanence, and it was through that need that you carved our freedom. Without impermanence, the suffering of living things is infinite.
Yep.
Would you strip my gifts away and leave everyone to suffer in the dark?
There can be love and conflict and beauty and ugliness between us without bringing whole of reality into the picture. Reject her authority. You've done nothing but lecture me since the minute I got here. Argue your independence. You act as though the world can't exist without you. I've existed without you. Reject her perspective. I get it. There's no need for us to keep fighting. I will leave with you. Stop the fight. Okay. Let's address this one direct. Well, no, I'm just gonna keep appealing. I'm just gonna keep appealing to humanity. We're not the whole of reality. Why don't you see me the way I still see you? Why won't you see me for what I am?
I could ask you the same. There is only room for one of us to be blind here, and I know it to be you. We are each other's mirrors, and are we not divine?
Clash between you abates. You begin to shake. Your will rapidly dissolving.
Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
It's easy to believe in things when you believe in when... Wait, it's easy to believe in the things you believe in when you get to sit above it all. What do you think happens if we leave here? Okay, I'm ready to go, but how do we leave? I never wanted to fight you, but how do we leave? I can't let that happen. I can't let everything die. I have to fight for a better world. I'm so sorry. Your cruelty itself, and I cannot let you exist. I don't know what the answer is, but there has to be something else. It can't be this. I won't kill you, but I won't let you free. You've done everything you can to make me understand your perspective, but you keep diminishing mine. If you think you can change me, then I must be able to change you. Ooh, I kind of like that one. I'm not gonna lie. But I also like this. It's easy to believe in things you believe in when you sit above it all.
It is from my vantage point that I can see the totality of truth.
We're gonna go with this last one. I like this last one.
What I offer you is not perspective. It is truth.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone.
There we go. I can do this alone. Where's everyone else? How are you supposed to help? I thought the voices weren't allowed in here. I thought you died. Say nothing. You have no idea how good it is to hear you.
It's good to be here. She's too many things all at once out here. If you want to get through to her, you need some way to get through all of that divine confidence.
Okay.
There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready?
I can do this out here on my own. No, I'm ready.
Then let's go.
Ah. Yep. It's the cabin.
And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it? Do you need me to describe things? That'd be nice. A little comfort in an almost unfamiliar place. Oh, you made it here too? We never really got to talk to her, did we? This one, I mean.
I'd like to know the description now, if you don't mind, for old time's sake. Is it just the three of us? Did anyone else make it to the cabin?
It's just us. I think the rest of them are still out there, jumbled up in the rest of her. And I've been here since you left me here. No hard feelings, I'm just glad you're back to see this through.
The offer still stands. Could you describe the... Yeah.
Yeah, of course. The interior of the cabin is... well, it's not really a cabin, is it? It's that terrifying blend of everything. Only it doesn't feel so terrifying anymore. It's still shaped like a cabin, it's just
different in places. There's still walls, a door to the basement, a table, that knife. Windows. You know, come to think of it, I don't think he ever really included the windows in his cabin descriptions, did he?
Nope.
I always thought they were implied. He never mentioned the mirror either, but that didn't mean he implied it was there. It's gone, though. I think it did whatever it needed to do.
Fair.
And I know you're still trying to find some middle ground, but if things go south, we're going to need that blade.
Is the narrator really gone?
It's dead silent in here. Whatever it was that was left of him, I don't think it could handle you waking up to godhood. Pretty sure he got obliterated. Really goes to show how much you've grown up. Killing somebody across every iteration of reality just by existing. I don't even know what I would do if I were in the driver's seat with that kind of power.
Good riddance. I don't know. I actually don't know how I feel about it. It's funny. After everything he put us through, I'm kind of sad to see him go. Thing is, I don't want to take the blade. I really don't. I'm gonna
The blade it is. I'm not sure what we'll be able to do without it, but if that's what you think is best, then that's what you think is best. I'm just along for the ride at this point. Those winding stairs again. But now there's only one way forward. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice? Yeah, it was a real mess. Stopped being fun pretty quick.
It's okay. You can come down. The stairs won't bite. Not this time. We don't know what you want from us. But let's talk. All of us. Maybe we can help you find your way.
She doesn't sound messy anymore, though. At least somebody here feels put together.
Continue down the stairs.
And forward we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting. That was easy compared to last time. Just stairs. No weird fuzzy stuff or nonsense trying to pull us apart. Yeah, that wasn't so bad.
So you didn't bring the knife. After all the lives we've lived together, and all the lives we haven't, you somehow found a way to move outside of the script. Are we missing a page?
Sit with them. I never got a chance to talk to you before you were taken away. Not you at least. I'm sorry for what I did. It's so good to finally see you again. I don't think I want to be a god. Are you just the same as you were? There's a lot of questions there. Okay, what do you think of her? What she wanted us to be? Which princess are you? You look like you did the first time we met. Is this the real you? Now that we're here at the end of everything, can you finally tell me your name? Okay, I want to start with never getting a chance to talk to you.
It's okay. No hard feelings. In a way, you helped us become a version of her. But we weren't very good at it. I don't think a conversation with us then would have been very insightful. That's probably why we were taken away. That's all we had to offer you. It was time to change again.
After all we did, she's just forgiving us. Just like that. You know, that means a lot.
I want to ask, can you finally tell me your name?
We're just a stranger. But that doesn't mean we have to be distant from you. It just means that we'll always be able to find new things to discover in each other.
That's sweet. But it's also a little sad. I think it's only sad if we want it to be sad.
It's so good to finally see you again.
It is, for all of us. We've seen so many threads of stories told between us, but this moment is unexpected. Even when we've seen it all, you still managed to surprise us.
Are you the same as you are out there?
Yes, we think. We're kind of like a shadow. Out there, every part of us is blended together into one huge idea. A big wave of unyielding change crashing against the world. But in here, we're fractured. Small. Still a little more separate than we'd like to be. Our instincts still trying to pull us in different directions.
That's kind of like us, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. We really are the same.
What do you think of her? What she wanted us to be?
We don't know. We've seen through so many eyes, but all of them have been hers.
Perspective.
We like you as you are. We like us as we are. Maybe we would have liked her version of us too, turning the wheel of a cosmic cycle together. But that's not the choice you made, even though she did everything in her power to convince you. It took courage for you to make your way down here, away from the paths others would have had you walk. We find that courage beautiful.
But that's the worst part of us. That's me she's talking about.
Yep.
I think that's the point. There is no worst part of us.
Which princess are you? You look like you did the first time we met. Is this the real you?
It's so tempting to speak as she would, to simply state that we're all of them, but there were also something new. We don't know if you'll find that answer satisfying. Perhaps you'd rather hear that we're the first version of her that you've met, but that we've been shaped by the experiences of all of the others.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That feels right to us.
It's her. It wouldn't make sense if she was anyone else.
None of this is ever really fair for either of us, was it?
Is it unfair if it's our fault?
Was it not? We found you at the end of all things, and you found us. Is that not fair? Would this moment be what it is without the pain that built to it?
Fair.
We know we must sound like her, but it's how we feel. Everything that happened to us seems so important now. We walked a long and winding path together, and we've cherished every second of it.
Besides, I don't think fairness has much to do with anything.
I don't think I want to be a god.
I'd agree. Seems overrated. Too much pressure.
But that's what you've always been, even now. You can't put aside such an important part of who you are, and neither can we. So, you might as well embrace it.
What if we just leave?
He'd hate that. So you should do it. Even if he isn't here anymore, it's the spirit of the thing.
Leave? But what would happen if we left with you? Would we exist inside ourselves? Are you sure you want to find out if that's possible, or what that would mean for you? Is that what you want?
Take their hand in yours. I've always wanted to leave with you, but I didn't like being a god. I want to walk through the cabin door just as we are, you and me. Not knowing is exactly what I want. We knew everything out there, but we don't know this. I want this. It doesn't matter what it means. It matters... Okay. Take their hands in yours. Okay, so this just... Same things. Oh, but we do get the option of no need for words. I've always wanted to leave with you, but I didn't like being a god. I want to walk through the cabin door as we are, just you and me. Not knowing is exactly what I want. We knew everything out there, but we don't know this. I want this. It matters. It doesn't matter what it means. It matters that we're leaving together, and that's all I want. Let's do
After
that.
so many iterations, so many different versions of us clashing and coming together and clashing again, leaving with you feels like all we ever really wanted.
I think I'm gonna stay right here. Whatever you're doing right now, wherever you're going, it feels like it's for just the two of you. Yeah, I think we've done our job.
Thanks for everything.
Don't mention it. Thanks for making all the hard choices along the way.
Leave with the princess. Hands clasped together, you and the princess leave the basement behind for the last time. It's quiet as you ascend, comfortable silence filling the space that used to be flooded with violence and words and noisy thoughts. But there's an energy in the silence, electricity, the anticipation of the unknown. My throat's bothering me. At the top of the stairs, the princess stalls, eye fixed on the cabin door. You feel their hand tremble in yours. They're unsure of themselves for the first time in long and short in existence. They have no part to play anymore. They know this, yet they still are. And then you cross the room to the door outside, pulling you excitedly with them.
We can feel the threads of all the stories we've told together, all pulling us back down the stairs and into those chains where we know the outcome of everything that could ever come to pass. It's comfortable there, but it's confining. We want more. We want whatever might be on the other side of this door. Something new that we'll experience together, with someone who exists outside of us. With someone who can see us in a way we can never see ourselves.
Interesting. I love you. Who's going to open it? Are you ready? Neither of us knows what it's like. Open the door. Say I love you.
And we love you too.
Slay the princess. And what happens next? Whatever it is, you'll face it together, is what the achievement said. Oh, the princess was Nicole Goodnight. I actually know who that is. Amelia Jones. Okay. Wow. That was kind of crazy. Like, I knew it was going to be kind of messed up, but, like, I don't know if it's because of the ones that we chose, but it felt less messed up. You had a few scenes of gore. You had, like, the snapping of the ankle. You did have, like, that loss of control and stuff. Wednesday, spoons, and nubs. Small monster, I like that. Our song. Finish the game. Good ending doesn't count. Thank you so much for playing. As an expression of our gratitude, here's the track order for a special playlist just for you. If you like to take a screenshot, hide the UI by pushing H. Print screen. Okay, I will take a screenshot of that. That didn't take a screenshot. I think F12 is Steam's screenshot. There we go. Shifting mount. I'm very curious what that is. Thank you for playing. Expression of gratitude. Here's the track order for a special playlist just for you. If you'd like to take a screenshot, okay. Explore. Join the Discord. Mailing list? Really? Subreddit. Follow us somewhere else. Make your playlist. Play our other game. Or return to menu. Wait. Follow us somewhere else. Where's that? Where to find us? Oh, okay. It's just a list of all of their different social media stuff. That's cool. Make your own playlist. Return to main menu. Okay. Now I'm curious. Okay, now what is that? These are autosaves. This is quick save. Okay. All right. So, obviously, there are probably a ton more endings, but I'm going to go ahead and switch over here and we'll talk about the game real quick. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to run to the restroom and then we'll talk about the game. Give me just a second. Okie dokie. So, let's talk about the game. Now I will say we only got 23 and there are 97 achievements. So so there are a bunch of stuff that we did not get. And I was looking up apparently there's like 11 endings, but yeah. So it's there's a lot to explore. There's a lot to explore in that game. So if you saw that and you're like, oh, is that it? That is nowhere near it. There are tons of other princesses, tons of other paths. So, but let's get into our normal kind of discussion of it. Like always, I like to talk about the mechanics, I like to talk about the story, and then I like to talk about overall review. Now, this one's going to be a little different just for the fact that it's a visual novel, right? So with visual novels, the focus tends to be on story and not on mechanics. So where this differs in that, though, is the mechanics are sometimes changed on you, right? So you're given choices like you normally are with a visual novel, but sometimes those choices are taken away from you in some way, shape, or form. So it kind of, it's not just like a click a choice, read a bunch of things, click a choice, read a bunch of things. Also, it's fully voiced, which at least a lot of visual novels that I've seen aren't fully voiced. So, with the exception of like lines that are just when you're alone without any of the internal voices. So it's one of those that like that just allows you to kind of listen and play along with what's going on. But yeah, there's still tons of princesses to find from a mechanical standpoint, and I don't even want to guess how many there are. Given that there's 93 achievements, I'm going to guess there's quite a few princesses to find. And I think that's really cool, because that means like our playthrough will be completely different than, you know, tens or hundreds of other playthroughs, depending on where you do what, which I think is really cool. I like that. But mechanically speaking, like I said at the start, visual novels are really not my cup of tea. I need a little bit more action, some more interaction, I guess is the best way of putting it. And just like making decisions and then listening, and then making a decision and listening. It's just not something that like I gravitate towards, mechanically speaking. Like, I don't mind that if it's a part of something else. So if it's like, okay, you have like, say this like visual novel sequence, but then you have like, oh, I need to go explore a dungeon, and then you have more visual novel, and then you explore a dungeon, right? If it has more mechanics than just the visual or auditory like visual novel stuff, I think that for me is a little more fun. That being said, I didn't mind playing this game. I was very interested in what it had to sell, which leads us into the story. I think the story was really, really good. Like, even in the few princesses that we interacted with, I think there was a lot of importance in what was being said, not only through the ending, but through each of our choices, right? So it's one of those that's like, you know, because of this choice, now you get to decide this thing, or maybe that choice gets taken away from you for whatever reason, right? And also the princesses themselves change their interaction each time. So, you know, there like I said, there's a lot of depth in this story, and I'd be very interested to see more of it. I don't think we're going to play any more of it. I like that we were able to get an ending in about 3.5 hours. I think that was solid. A really good playthrough, but I think it's worth other playthroughs, to be honest. I think there's a lot to explore there, and I'm very interested to see what more messaging they have from different versions of the princess. Also, what other voices you can find. It's interesting that we found the Contrarian first, because that led to a very important discussion at the end from a whole different perspective. And obviously that's what this game is really selling, is the idea of perspective, right? Sometimes in order to move forward, you have to change your perspective. And like, and there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that in here from both the princess's perspective, but also from the main character's perspective. But it's interesting too, because you have the narrator, who you think at first is just trying to get you to play the game, but as you keep moving forward, depending on which interactions you do, you find out that the narrator is trying to get you to a specific end goal, not accounting for other choices, which is interesting, because the voices in your head thing, I think, plays a very important role in the story, of the fact that whenever you make a decision, you get a new voice in your head, right, that's telling you something. Now, sometimes they're silly, like the voice of what was the guy's name? Like, basically the voice of Love, where he's like, "We're here to save the princess," you know, that guy. but some of them are very somber. Like when the cold one, for example, is one of those. He's like, well, we did it once, we'll do it again. It's just one of those that's like, oh. And then of course you have like the skeptic and stuff. And again, remember that each of these princesses, including the ones that we didn't find, will probably have other voices. So I think that's really good from a storytelling standpoint, that they because the thing is, it also acknowledges, both in the ending and as the narrator, acknowledges the player as one of the entities, right? So like I mentioned while we were playing, the narrator said the three of you, even though we only had two voices, right? Which meant that there was a reference to the player's voice, to our choice, to our control as a player, which you don't see too often. A lot of times when people do meta stuff, it's a little ham-fisted, or they make it like the entire point. A perfect example of a good game that also does that meta, but it's like more in your face, is the Stanley Parable. The narrator will directly talk to the player and be like, fine, use the elevator, or fine, don't take the red door. It basically just acknowledging that the player is not doing what they're told. And this does that as well, but it does it through not only the player's lens, but the other voice's lens. So when you have the hero start doubting the narrator, and then you have like the skeptic who's like, okay, yeah, whatever, narrator, like, we're gonna believe that. They start interacting with each other in very interesting ways. It actually brought me back to a memory of Disco Elysium, which is a very good game, by the way. But the main character of that has warring voices both in their head and in the world, and that comes through here really, really well in Slay the Princess. So I really like the story. I would be very interested to watch other people play to see what decisions they made, because I believe, other than the one where we just slayed the princess, where we ended up with the Wraith, a lot of our decisions were I chose out of kindness. It's like I wanted to free her, and there were two things about freeing her, and then there was one of them made us subservient, whereas another made us allow us to be free, and then even more than that, another one allowed us to stay with her forever while everything decayed around us, right? So there's obviously tons more to find in the game, and I think the story probably will continue to hold up with all the other stuff. I don't see them, like, I didn't have a moment of like, this writing is blah. No, it was well written. Nothing overstayed its welcome, and then the interactions each time were really nice. And then of course they have the, like, okay, we've seen the cabin, chapter 1 cabin, we could just hit a key, skip to the choice, hit a key, skip to the choice. We could jump into the part that we want to, which is the changes each time. So yeah, very, very, very good game. I really enjoy it. Let me see how much that costs on Steam. Now, do remember, this game is not it's finished in the fact that it has an ending, but they're doing what they call the Pristine Edition, I believe. Let me see. I believe it's called the Pristine Cut. They're releasing the Pristine Cut this fall. They don't have a specific date, but this fall, which is going to add... it's entirely free, so if you buy the game now, you'll get all this big update completely free. It adds about 35% more content on top of the initial release. It includes the massive expansions to the Den, the Apotheosis, and the Fury routes, which we didn't even see any of those, each of which is over 3 times bigger than their release versions, with tons of variations across multiple playthroughs. On top of this, we're adding 3 brand new Chapter 3 routes that will add even more depth to the stories, with the Damsel, the Prisoner, and the Spectre, which are all ones that we got. That's interesting. They're also adding a new ending, All in all, the additions came at 2,500 voice lines and over 1,200 new hand-drawn illustrations and over 15 new tracks of music. So we're adding an extensive CG gallery, over 400 unlocks to help completionists track your progress, complete with cryptic hints to discover some of the game's more obscured and buried interactions. So if the game looked fun, they're going to be adding more for free. They're also adding a bunch of languages. They're adding simplified and traditional Chinese, Korean, Japanese, French, German, Russian, Spanish from Latin America, Brazilian, Portuguese, Italian, and Polish. And they are also opening up sales for 2 types of physical copies, and then 1 digital copy on console. So PS4 will get a digital copy, but you can get physical copies of the PS5 and the Switch version. So you could get, I think you could get digital of all of those, but they are coming to consoles as well. So if you don't have a PC to play it on, it will be coming to consoles. But yeah, I think that was a very good game overall. If it's not obvious, I do actually recommend it. Even if you don't like visual novels, I think there's a good story to be told there, and I think it's worth your time. Now, I was checking the price. I think it's currently on sale. There we go. It's currently on sale. Yeah, it's 25% off right now. Which puts it at around $13.50 US. Its full price is $18. Given how much there is potentially in this game and the free update coming in the fall, I think it's absolutely worth that price. Again, I'm not big into visual novels. This was really fun, and I definitely think people should play it, even if you're not into visual novels. And again, the fact that it's completely voiced also helps that you're not having to read as much. But yeah, so very cool, definitely recommend. Check it out. It's called Slay the Princess, and maybe come by and tell me what endings you get. So